we go. Okay. All right. Once you're in your comfortable position that you plan to be in for a couple minutes or longer than a couple minutes, but for your focused breathing, we want to make sure that we got to give our body the chance to transition from whatever's been going on today so far, or even in your week if you've been dealing with a lot of stuff. It's really important to give yourself this time to kind of be unaware of what's outside of the mat, right? So we want to take a nice slow breath in, big exhale, kind of blow it out, and then trying to establish that breathing in whatever position you are in. Just allowing that breath to flow in and out, a little bit slower, a little bit more concentrated as far as thinking about it, being aware of it, and letting it help us, right? So the breath in, we're trying to engage fully and get it down to the belly so that feels very natural. Those exhalations are through the nose. And at the same time, we're trying to, notice anything in the body, and we're trying to let go of that tension, clearing our minds, relaxing our face, everything. And it may take a few breaths to kind of feel like all of it's coming together. So give yourself not a couple minutes, but we'll give ourselves a little bit of time here. If you continue to move around a little bit till you get just into that perfect position, feel free to do that. Feeling that belly rise up, and then that's the first place to come in as we exhale. And right now, just kind of see what your body does on its own, what natural movements feel normal. Like your hands are probably not flexed out, right? Your fingers are soft and maybe rolled in a little bit. Maybe your feet roll in naturally or roll out naturally. Continue to work on your breathing throughout your practice. It's sometimes difficult to have it constantly be perfect, right? Because we start to challenge ourselves a little bit. Maybe we're really doing something that's physically, strength-wise challenging, or maybe we're just trying to be really aware of working into that flexibility. Maybe there's a certain move that you've been trying to work and getting a little deeper in that aspect. But again, we're just always trying to come back to that breath to ground us and just to make sure that we're using it to the best of our abilities, using it to help the practice feel good, right? So after you feel like you've established that breathing, again, stay with that if you need a little bit longer. As you come into the bent knees pose, a lot of little things to think about, heels lining up with the sitting bones, and then nice long spine, little curve here in the back, long neck. Feel the shoulders broaden, right? So we want to kind of feel like they move apart, so we get a little bit more opening here across the collarbone, all the way into the shoulders, into the chest. When everything's feeling good, bring the arms down, but we're not going to push them down, right? We're just going to kind of bring them alongside of us. They're long as possible without pressing them down and being tight here. All right, so another breath or two here, just making sure everything feels good where it is. All right, so we're going to add a little bit of movement. If you're ready to join me, you can, or you can continue to focus on the breathing. The other thing that you might not think about that is possible here on YouTube, if you happen to watch this after the live class, is that you can always pause if you need to. You might have to get up, but you can hit pause on the play button, and you can take time if you need to, if you've forgotten to get something, or you need to have just more time in whatever part of the yoga practice we're in. So I'm going to add some movement here. As I take that next breath in, without even thinking about it, I'm just going to let the arms kind of float up off the mat. See how far they go back over the head as I continue that breath in. And as soon as I feel that I need to exhale, I'm going to start to bring those arms back to the mat. And they're going to take the same length of time as it does for that full exhalation. And again, reach up and over, deep breath in. And exhale. I didn't realize my shoes were so close by. So continue that a couple more times. Inhaling, exhaling. Every time you inhale, we're starting to feel a little bit more lengthening, maybe in the arms and the fingers, maybe where the arms come into the side body here, alongside the body. And we're just going to continue that slow breath in and out. Again, just not even thinking too much about what we're doing here. And we'll do one more. So we're going to do a little bit of hip release here. But then we're going to move on and do something a little bit different. So we're going to take the arms overhead, inhale. This time to exhale, just a little gentle pull of that right knee into the chest. And when we inhale, again, the right foot goes down as your arms go up. And then the next time that exhale, we bring that left knee into the chest. And again, inhale, reach. So we're going to just alternate that a few times. Just starting to feel this release here in the hamstrings as they're attached up into the glutes. Gentle pull. I find it more comfortable to not pull on my kneecap. I find that I get more of a stretch if I take the hands to the shin bone. The other option is to maybe take the hand behind the thigh. Whatever works for you. We're going to go right and left one more time. All right, let's just do a little foot and ankle on the right. So we'll bring the knee in on the exhale. Keep it here on the inhale now. Exhale, gentle pull again. And then we're just going to extend the foot up. So you can keep the knee bent a lot or a little. It's up to you. Work your foot a little bit. Let's start to warm it up. With the weird lighting in here, it's very gloomy out, so I have two lights, overhead lights on, and I feel like my foot is pretty ghostly white. All right, circle that ankle a few times each way. I'm not quite that pale in real life. All right, couple times, and then go the other way. Make sure you're getting a lot of movement in here, really pumping that blood. Even maybe spreading the toes out and making them almost like a fist, how you would do your fingers. That's another good one for a foot mobility, getting all those muscles working. And then shake it out a little bit, bring it back down, make sure everything's in line here. Arms come to the mat. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, bring that left knee in. Same thing, we're just gonna hold it here a breath or two. And then extend the foot up and working that foot and ankle a little bit. Circling the ankle each way. Again, just moving any way that works for you. These are great to do. You do not have to get down on the floor to work feet and ankles. And the feet and ankles should be worked every day. Depending on, how active you are, you probably, if you're walking and stuff like that, let's bring that foot back down. If you're walking, that's great, but most of the time we walk in shoes, right? So our feet don't have quite as much freedom to move as they do barefoot. I'm a big advocate of barefoot walking if you can do it, not like on hard surfaces that could hurt you, but in the grass and stuff like that. But if you're sitting down, doing some work, whatever, do those foot pumps a couple times during the day. Just flex and point and circle the ankles. And it takes about not even a minute to do it. That's really important. It really keeps all the little tendons and muscles and ligaments in the feet. They just don't get the same freedom of movement since we're on them all the time. But just do that a couple times a day if you can remember. All right, keep your feet in that hip distance position. Let's take the arms overhead again as we inhale. But now as we exhale, I want you to slowly bring them around to either a V or a T, depending on how much room you've got and what's comfortable for your shoulders. So if they're a little bit higher, you're going to start to get a little bit more stretch here, chest into the shoulder joint. But if you want to go shoulder height, like a T, you're still going to get a nice stretch across the chest. Now you can do the palms up or down, whatever works better for you. We're going to twist a little bit with both legs. So keep your feet apart and your knees apart in this parallel position. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, drop the knees just to the right a little bit. And then inhale, bring them back up. Exhale, drop them to the left. You probably won't go all the way to the floor because we're only doing that exhale. Bring them back up, inhale. Let's go again. Exhale, go right. Inhale, back up. Exhale, go left. So the feet are staying in that same position. Our legs are not touching. And up. Now exhale, go to the right. Go as far as you can. Keep those feet in that same position. See if you can get the right leg to the mat. And then the left leg is probably kind of hovering somewhere above it. My knees are pretty far apart. But, you know, by going into this twist with the legs apart, we just get to hit that left hip a little bit differently. You can look opposite if you need something for the neck here. A little stretch maybe. Or eyes can be up. Yeah, just trying to keep both shoulders and arms extended on the floor. All right, let's take our next inhale. Bring the knees back up. And just noticing that we're still in that wide position. Exhale, go all the way to the left. See if that left outside leg can get to the mat. Right leg, right knee kind of just hovering. Mine is hovering almost kind of between my left knee and ankle, if that makes sense. Kind of mid-shin. Same thing. And just notice how you're feeling this differently in the right hip than you would if we had the legs completely together, or even on that single leg twist when we go all the way across. You're probably just feeling a little different. But the inside edge of the right foot is on the mat, the outside edge of the left foot. And same thing, opposite head or straight up. And inhale back up. Now we're going to progress to the feet together. Take a breath in. Now, if you need to, you can walk the feet, even though they're touching, to the left a little bit before you go right. That's going to be a little bit less intense than if you have the feet in the middle and go right. But either way, see if you can get both knees over. Left shoulder staying down now. Might be a little harder to do that. If this doesn't work for you, stay with the parallel feet the whole time. And inhale, bring the knees up. And we're going to switch over to the left. And again, you could walk the feet to the right or start mid-mat and then same thing, drop them over. See what's happening with that right shoulder. So from here, we haven't turned the body, right? Kept the body here, turned the leg. Later, when we go into some twists, when we're sitting on the mat, see if you can feel that same feeling when you twist the upper body instead of the legs. And inhale, back up. Let's bring both knees in. Roll that back a little bit. Any way that feels good. And then we're just going to use a little momentum or roll over to one side and make our way up. We're going to come onto our hands and knees. So go ahead and take a minute, get something under the knees if you need it. I wonder if I should turn that light off. I do feel like I look like a ghost on my camera. Maybe it won't look so bad on my on the recording. All right, well, hang on, I'm gonna turn my heater off too. Whew. Okay, here we go. Hands and knees, all four. So, you know, that alignment's important. Hands are under the shoulders, and we're going to spread the fingers out, knees under the hips. Move the hips a little bit, move a little bit if you need to, and then once everything's in place, take a deep breath in, pull the shoulders from the ears, feel your spine lengthen without lifting anything. On the exhale, feel your belly pull in. Inhale again, straight, keep that back straight. Exhale, pull the belly tight. Now inhale, easing into that cow pose. Just lift the chest and tailbone slightly. Exhale, arching a little bit as we pull the belly in. Inhaling, going into cow again. So you take this time now to work into both of those poses at your own pace, starting to feel more lengthening and lifting. You'll notice what's feeling tight. As we're going into that cow pose, feel the heart lift, feel the tailbone lift up in the back. As you exhale into cat, pull that belly in, allow your head to completely hang for a moment. You're really pushing those hips forward. Couple more. Now from here, we're going to inhale into cow pose one more time. Exhale into child's pose and just ease back. Modify anything that makes it comfortable here. When you're in that resting pose, you should feel that you could and would want to stay there for a while because you're so comfortable. All right, so don't hesitate to use props in this one, even though we are going to go in and out of it a little bit as we flow. If you need a block quickly or a little blanket, feel free to grab that. So we're gonna get into a downward dog now. Let's just start out by taking the hands not in the farthest position, right? So keep the hips back, walk the hands forward a little bit. Lift those hips high. Start to press out of the hands and lengthen the sides of your body first. Don't worry about the heels getting down to the mat. You can pedal the feet a little bit if you're ready for that. All right, now press those hips up and back, and you're going to let both knees bend. Now make sure that the knees stay lined up with the feet that they belong to, right? Don't let the knees come in or out. Bend the knees. Bring the shin bones toward the mat. Now lift the tailbone first, and then stretch. Sorry, I'm heating up. I gotta take this off. I made the mistake of putting on hand lotion because it's been so dry lately. Probably about a half hour ago, but now that I'm heating up, my hands are getting slippery, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work here on the mat. Okay. So we're in that downward dog. Come down into child's pose anytime you want a little break, because we're going to do this a few times. So we want to make sure that we bend the knees a lot. And you're going to really feel the weight go into the balls of the feet. Feel the stretch through all the toes, the ball of the foot. So I'm letting the shin bones come down. Now I'm going to lift my tailbone first, and then slowly extend the legs. I had to bring my hands in because I've got a slippery spot here. I'm going to do it one more time. Bend a lot. See if you can get those shin bones more parallel to the mat. Lift the tailbone first. And then as the tailbone goes higher, the legs are just going to straighten. And then we're going to come down and take a little rest in our child's pose. Wipe my hands off. Oh, okay, still here. So let's go ahead, now that we have warmed up those hips a little bit. As you come out of your child's pose this time, you can take the arms a little more forward. Come into that deeper downward dog. Take about 3 to 4 breaths here. And then, when you're ready to move, we're going to inhale and come into our plank. Modify it if you need to. Modify here if you need to. Exhale, we're going to lower slowly, keeping those elbows close to the body. Try to control it all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Lift that heart. Pull the shoulders toward each other behind you. Exhale, back to child's pose. Arms wherever you like. 3 breaths here. All right, let's make our way through that again. And work at your own pace now. You don't have to wait for me. You might be ahead of me. You might be a little slower, focusing on different parts of the flow. Now, when you get back to your child's pose, you're going to be here a little bit longer. When we get into that plank next time, we're going to go into side plank as an option. So just remember that you have some modifications you can do. I won't show all of them because most of you have been doing this a long time. But you can always go under the elbow rather than the hand. But either way, you want it under the shoulder. That's the best support, right? When we turn, we want to get our body as much to the side of the mat as possible. When we start to elevate legs up, it gets a little harder to hold. So you can always keep the bottom knee down. You can do foot on the 1 or 2 feet on the mat. Feet can be staggered, which means that the top foot would be a little in front of the back foot. Top foot, yeah. Lower foot. You can have the feet stacked together, the hardest one, right? Just the hand, feet stacked together, that requires the most balance. So really working the core here. And again, you can do I'll show you a couple little things, but for the most part, you just modify what you want to. So come to your downward dog when you're ready. Now you're going to come to that full plank first. Inhale. Now here's where we start to turn. We're going to turn to the left, so we're going to use our right hand. So right hand or elbow. I can turn. I want to bring that knee, lower leg across the mat if I'm going to go into that modified variation, right? Whether you're on the hand or the elbow. I can also, so earlier we were doing those twists where we were on the edges of the feet. So here I've got the inside edge of the left foot, outside edge of the right foot, and I've got the left foot in front. If that's more than I want to do, again, play around with it, see what feels good. It's not absolutely, you don't have to do exactly the same thing on each side, but it should be about the same level. Like you don't want to really be on one hand on one side and down on the elbow on the other side. Now after that, you're going to come back to your downward dog for a breath or two, and you've got time to flow again, or you've got time to drop the knees and rest a little bit. When you're ready, coming into plank. I'll just stay here and give you my back. Again, some options here. Elbow can be down. But once you choose where you want to be, try to be there about 3 full breaths. Coming back to plank and back to downward dog. Now, I'm going to flow one more time and get to the front of the mat. When you're ready, at your own pace. For my next downward dog, I'm going to then walk to the front of the mat. Coming into a forward bend. And then rolling up, making my way up to mountain pose. I'm always checking this camera to make sure it's still going. All right, so we're in our mountain pose here. We all know what that means. A little bit different for everybody, but overall, we want to be tall, open, core is working. Feeling strong, but not full of tension, right? Take a breath in and exhale. Now let's work the shoulders a little bit. On the inhale, they come up. On the exhale, we're rolling them down and back. Feeling that opening across our chest again. Take a breath in, lift the chin up. Exhale, bring the chin to your chest. Hold it right there. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, draw that chin to one shoulder. Exhale, lower down. And then the other side, inhale, lifting. So we're just working through the neck a little bit. Work at your own pace. Go one more time. All right, and then come back to center. Roll the shoulders up and back. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Bring the hands to the mat or use your block or blocks that you have handy. Doing that stretch from the back of the legs, mostly from above the knee right up into the glutes. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back up to mountain pose. Good. Let's try that again. Arms up, deep breath. Exhale, forward bend. Lift halfway. Pausing a little bit longer, maybe extending the arms out or back. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back up. Back to mountain pose. Hold that mountain pose for me. All right, so now we're going to get into getting into some warrior poses. We'll start from upright today, go into our downward dog. Transition differently if it works better for you. If it takes a little bit more energy to do that, so if you're not up for it today, that's fine, or you just want to transition a little bit differently. We're going to all meet in the same places, right? So we're going to start in that mountain pose. Again, one more full breath in and out. And then next inhale, bringing the arms up. Exhale into that forward bend. Inhale, lifting halfway. Again, pausing, lengthening that back, extending the arms away maybe. Take another inhale here. Exhale, forward bend. Step back to your plank again. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. If you're into that upward dog at this point, that's fine too. Go through child's pose or go right into your downward dog. All right, look forward, bring that right foot through. Bring that left knee down. Make your way up to a kneeling lunge or crescent moon lunge. Now we can keep the body upright. We can start to work on that back bend a little bit. I'm going to push the hips forward. We should still be able to see that our knee doesn't go beyond the toes of that front foot. Take a breath in and exhale. Inhale again. Exhale, bring the hands back down. Bring that back knee up. Step that foot in. Slowly make your way up to warrior one. Everything still facing the front of the mat. Adjust a little bit if you're not quite where you want to be. Feet or weight firmly in both feet. Hips and shoulders are square to the front. Now turn the palms forward, bring those elbows down, come into our cactus arms. So we're really energizing here, squeezing our shoulder blades together, bringing the elbows in line, energizing the hands, adding a little bit more tilt here, lifting the heart up. Inhale, bring the arms back up. Exhale, opening now to warrior two. Open it up. That right hand, turn the palm up, float that arm up, reverse warrior. Three to four breaths. Again, you can stay longer in any of these poses that you like. Back to warrior two. Side angle pose, using the right leg or block for hand or arm support. Take that left arm up. Feel free to angle it, extended variation, or straight here, or a little half bind going behind. Go to a full bind if you like, but really think about working that shoulder open, keeping the chest open to the left side of your mat. And slowly make your way back up. Find that warrior two. Looking over that right hand. Inhale, turn to a high lunge. So now you're going to pull that back heel up. Find your balance again between the front foot, only the ball of the left foot and back. All right, step that foot in a little bit, find your warrior one again. Now we're going to interlace our hands behind the back. Whatever feels comfortable, using a little towel or strap if you can't quite get them together. Lift the chest up, pull those arms away from the hips a little bit. And then releasing the hands, inhale. Exhale, coming all the way back down to the mat. So maybe take some time if you need it. Bring the hands down, step that right foot back, finding that downward dog. And then bringing the knees down and coming into child's pose. So of course we're going to do the same series on the left. I'm going to turn to the other side of my mat just so that my back isn't away from you the whole time. So the only thing that you really have to think about, I'm not going to cue a whole lot, is when we get to the interlacing the hands behind us, try to do the opposite grip of what you just did. Most likely you did the normal one that always feels the most familiar. So when we get to that other side, you're just going to want to try to switch it up, put the other thumb on top. Always feels weird. We don't stretch as much, but we have to do both sides, right? Okay, so I'm going to make my way around the other side of our mat. And again, if you need to rest a little bit longer, feel free to do that. So when we come to our downward dog, you're going to look forward, bring that left foot through, and bring that right knee down. Again, trying to just find that lunge first of all. Make sure that back knee's comfortable. We're trying to enhance a little that right hip flexor, trying to get more stretch here, lifting the chest up. All right, we're going to bring the hands down. We're going to bring that back foot up and step in and think about what you think is your warrior one. And then just stand up and see if you got it right or not. And if you didn't, you just fix it. Taking that warrior one here. Again, make sure that the whole foot, especially that back foot, that we're not rolling in. We're keeping that outside edge on the mat. Now, cactus arms again. So elbows here. Squeeze the shoulder blade. Lift the heart. Inhale, bring the arms back up. Exhale, open to warrior two. Open it up. See how that side feels today. Looking over that left hand. Turn the palm up. Reverse warrior. Sweep that arm up and back. Back to warrior two. Side angle pose. So using that leg for support or grabbing your block quickly. Arms straight up or extended variation. So it's finally getting easier for me with my left hip. And make your way back up to warrior two. All right, inhale, turn to that high lunge. So as I turn, I don't pull that foot in quite as much. You can, but it's a little harder to balance as you get here. So make that core work for you. Now from here, it's just a little step in with that back foot, or maybe a bigger step to find that warrior one, because everything stays facing the front of the mat. And then we're going to bring those hands around and interlace them and go for that opposite grip. I'll always give you time to do 3 to 4 breaths whatever pose we're on. And bring the arms back up. And now let's slowly make our way back down to downward facing dog. And then bring the knees down. Let's take a little break here, a little rest, get some water if you like. So that was our standing work for today. We're going to make our way back to the top of our mat in a moment, do a balance pose, and then we'll come back down and do some other things. All right. All right, so when you've had enough time down there, make your way back to downward dog. And then walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Come back to forward bend here. And then let's just roll it up, take our time coming up, up, up. And back to mountain pose. All right, so I'm pretty sure we did dancer pose last week. I don't know what we did before that. Let's do our tree pose today. Probably the one we do most often, maybe the one you feel most comfortable with. I think that it's a good one to do frequently because you can kind of see your progress, whether it's more stability, maybe you're bringing that foot up more, maybe you're opening the knee more, maybe you're doing different things with the arms, but it's really a good one to kind of stick with and just check often, check on your progress. How are you? Use the wall if you need it, use the door frame, but every once in a while, make yourself try it freestanding. Even if you're not able to balance quite as well, it's going to help the body train more to be ready for it. We don't realize it, but when we're using a wall or something like that, very easy to kind of let go of some of those muscles that we need for balance and rely on that wall a little bit. So let's just try it. Again, feel free to use the wall. Certainly not judging on that ever. When you're ready, you're going to pick whichever leg you want to start on. Turn the one knee out. If you're going to bring that foot off the ground, think about the placement. It's very important that we're not placing it against the knee joint. You can go right above or below. Find a focal point. Slippery tights don't help. Coming out of it when you're ready. You can stay there a long time if you like. You don't have to. You can do a couple breaths and you're good. Come back to both feet for a moment. Feel that weight nice and even. Turn into the other side when you're ready. Try this side. Maybe I am going to use the wall today, at least to get started. The same thing, we want to make sure that that knee stays out to the side. And back to mountain pose. That was my new hip. My rotation's getting better, so I'm pretty happy about that. All right, come on back to the top of your mat if you moved away. What are we doing here? All right, take a breath in. Take the arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Pause here again. Feel like someone's pulling the crown of the head away from you, not to pull you off balance, but to really lengthen that spine. Extend the arms away from you if you like. Take a breath in. Exhale back into that forward bend. Step back to a plank again. Take a breath in as you get there. Use your exhale to help you lower. All right, forehead to the mat. Inhale, come to Cobra first. Look, see how much you're able to lift up the upper body. Exhale, lower. You can turn your head to the side while you're waiting. We're going to go into locust. I'm going to do it a couple times. So you can always just do upper body. Bringing the legs up only after you check the upper body to make sure it's feeling good. And we know that it's really important to lift from between the shoulder blades through the chest. We don't want to be lifting with those lower back muscles, right? They have enough to deal with. So really engage the belly on this one before you lift up. Start out with the forehead to the mat, and arms are just going to be right alongside us. Tops of your feet on the mat. So first off, just pull that belly in as tight as you can, and then release. Exhale, contract it. Inhale, release it. Exhale, contract the belly. Inhale, lift the forehead and chest. Reach those fingertips back. Now you've got to find that breathing that you can maintain with the chest up, eyes looking forward. From here, you can float the legs into it. You don't have to. Try to maintain that even breathing while you're up. When you're going to lower back down, you're going to inhale while you're up. Exhale as you lower down, and maybe turning your head to the other side. Since we brought our hands together behind us upright, we're in that warrior pose. Let's go ahead and try to add that in when we get into our, allergies. When we get into our locust, again, as an option. And the other thing is that even though you might be able to unlace the hands behind you when you're standing, you may not hear. So have your little strap handy if you know that this is a really difficult one for you. All right, so we're going to start the same way. Exhale, tighten the belly. Inhale, lift the upper body, reach the arms up and back. Maybe bring the legs up, maybe interlace those hands, and really lift the heart. You can always exhale as you lower down. Turn your head the other way so you've had a chance to rest with each side to the mat. All right, forehead to the mat. Bring those hands back under the shoulders. Inhale first to cobra. Exhale back down into child's pose. Keeping those hips back, walk both hands to the right side of the mat. We're going to take that left hand and reach it beyond the right hand to get a little bit more stretch here through the left side. Take both hands back to the mat, regular child's pose with arms extended. And then walk the hands to the left hand to the edge, right hand going beyond that left hand, and then make sure those hips pull back again. And back to the middle, last time, regular child's pose. And bring the arms in now if you like. All right, we're going to ease out of that, coming around to sitting on the mat. You just do one forward bend here. Feel free to extend the legs. Feel free to elevate the hips as you extend the legs, whether you're on a blanket or just on the mat. I want to make sure that both of those sitting bones are equally on the mat. Shoulders up and back. Take a breath in. Get as tall as you can here. On that exhale, reach forward with the hands, with the chest, with the heart. Exhale, allow the upper body to slowly start moving in. Every inhale, we're lengthening again. Every exhale, the body weight moves forward. You should be getting quite a great stretch here from the hamstrings into the glutes. Shouldn't be painful in the lower back. So if you're feeling too much strain here, that's why you want to pull back more and just have that whole upper body stay in one long line as you move forward. We don't want to, once we round over here, we start to feel it mostly in that lower back. That's not what we're going for here. And then make your way back up. We're going to bend the knees and we're going to work on some boat pose options here. Boat poses, I guess. All right, so a couple of the goals here. Ultimately balance, but that doesn't have to be where you are today, right? So it's straight back, engaged core, right? We want to make sure that we feel everything pulling in here. Long straight line through the crown of the head. I can just reach my arms here. This is a boat pose right here. It's still a lot of work. Taking one foot up. Try a couple things. We'll play around with it and then we'll do one full pose that will hold a little bit longer. Some other options are using some support right behind the legs, maybe bringing those feet to the toes or bringing the toes off the mat. Again, I can slowly progress, one hand at a time, one leg at a time. If I take both legs up, but my back is rounding, better to keep those legs a little lower and keep that back straight. What happens if I roll backwards? Nothing. Just try it again. So think about which of those progressions you might be wanting to work on today. Maybe start at one that you know you can do, and then go up a little bit with, releasing the feet or the hands. If you're full on into the best one, we'll say the most challenging one right off the bat, go for it. So again, whenever you're ready. So this time, when you get there, I'd like your goal to be 5 breaths, if you can maintain that, okay? When you bring the feet back down, we'll go into that forward bend one more time. All right, ease out of that when you're ready. Let the knees bend, roll on down to the mat. Once you get the head and shoulders down, let's just start out by hugging the knees in. All right, bring both feet up. We're going to flex and point the feet a few times. Circle the ankles. Make sure you go every direction you can. Okay, bring the feet back down. Start in that bend knees pose. And the arms right next to you. I'm going to do a little bit more stretching here with for the hips. Again, grab a strap if you need it. We're not going to spend a long time in the hamstring stretch, but you can always use the strap to help you a little bit. All right. When you're ready, take the arms over the head on an inhale. Pull that right knee into the chest as you exhale. I'm going to hold it there a little bit. Let's just do a little hip warm up here. Just move the knee around and So that upper part of the leg is kind of moving around that hip socket. Just do a few circles each way. All right, and we're going to extend that right leg up. And just kind of see where you can go right off the bat, right? So again, I take my hands either to the thigh, or you can start to go lower. If it's pulling the leg in more than you're ready for, I suggest that you just let the leg go back out a little bit. But we're going to focus on, so inhale, press the heel. Exhale, gentle pull on that leg. We're not going to be here too long, but you might even be able to get the fingers around that big toe. It's up to you. So using every breath now to help extend that leg a little more, just get it comfortable where it is. And then we're going to slide that left leg all the way out. And now, might it pull that right leg back a little bit? It might, it's okay. But we have both hips down now, left leg extended, right leg extended. You see how that feels. My leg is shaking, so I know I'm challenging it a little bit, but it's okay. It's manageable. All right, take a breath in. Exhale, bend that right knee. Open the right arm out at the same time. Inhale again. Exhale, pull that right knee up and across, and we're going into a twist here. So now my focus is to keep the shoulder down as my knee comes over. All right, slowly come out of that. Take the right foot across that knee. So we're coming into our thread the needle. This is one of our old favorites. We can stay here. We can bring the left foot up, looping the hands, or taking a strap maybe around that thigh if that helps us to pull it in. But the upper body shouldn't be off the mat, right? We do want that upper body to just be relaxed. So it's wherever you can be without that upper body having to get all tensed up. Maybe just keeping the foot here and using a little pressure from the hand to press that knee out. All right, let's uncross the legs. Start out with both knees in again. Roll in the back a little bit. All right, take that right foot down, pull that left knee in. Again, check to make sure your hips are still on the mat. And then a little bit of knee circles here if you like that. Extend the left leg up. Start to work into that hamstring stretch. So on the inhale, press the heel away from you. On the exhale, ease into it. I definitely don't have the same range of motion on the hip, so I'm going to keep my leg, keep my hands around the calf. I can't get to the ankle or the foot on this one. And again, use this strap. Why don't I use mine? I don't know. Okay? So again, trying to get that hamstring to just relax a little bit. Don't worry about the knee straightening. It doesn't have to. All right, when that left leg's feeling pretty comfortable where it is, extend the right leg all the way out. All right, from here, we're gonna, if you're using the strap, you need to move it. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, prepare for the twist. So you're gonna take that right hand just to the knee, open that left arm out, take a breath in. On the exhale, we're twisting, pulling that knee across. Again, ease into it, see what feels good today, but really work on the shoulders staying on the mat. breath, coming back onto the back. Left foot to the right knee. Come into that thread the needle. Any variation. All right, uncrossing the legs, rolling that back one last time. And then we're going to bring our feet to the mat and we're going to stretch out those legs all the way out. Take the arms overhead. And as you inhale now, we're going to reach the fingertips as far in one direction as we can, toes in the other direction, lengthening everything as we inhale. And as we exhale, just trying to let everything relax. Stay here. Maybe turn the head from one side to the other if you like. And let's do that again. Inhale, stretch and hold. And exhale, relax. We've got one last one. Full body stretch. Inhale, reach. Lengthen everything. On the exhale now, we're going to start to bring those arms a little bit lower. So we want them lower than the shoulders, not too close to the body. Take the legs into a more comfortable position for Savasana. And if there's anything you want to do, moving to the wall to get your legs up the wall, maybe you want to roll to one side, that's fine too. If you need to leave, that's fine too. But we're going to just refocus on the breathing. We'll be scanning through the body, making sure that we're not holding tension anywhere. You can start at the head, you can start at the feet, but kind of make it a nice slow process so that you are really taking some time to check in with each part of the body. And then from there, just let yourself go, let yourself rest a little bit. Take a deeper breath in and out. Start to move the fingers and toes a little bit. Gradually making the movements a little bigger, moving the hands and feet. You can stay on your back longer if you like. You can roll to one side if you like. Try to use as little energy as possible as you do make your way back up. You guys can tell, but I'm cross-legged again. Happy about that. Namaste. I'm going to come over to the camera. If you want to turn your sound on, you can.